Hey everybody, ronarray here, and I've been playing Smite Slayer for quite some time. So in today's video, I wanted to give a proper update for Smite Slayer, showcasing the version that I'm currently playing myself, and which in my opinion is pretty great. In that version, we're going to retain almost all our damage, but we're also going to be significantly tankier compared to what we had before, because we can reach 96% of spell block together with 96% of attack block, making us, well, feeling very good, especially in maps, because you're going to practically block almost all attacks that you're going to encounter, which is feeling absolutely amazing. Just look at it, you can just stand in tier 17 without even flinching for a little. Well, maps with no blocking could still be an issue, but everything else is going to feel very good. While being significantly tanky, the build has even more damage than we had before while dual wielding. So it still can kill Uber bosses pretty fast, and while doing most of the content in the game, you will not encounter any issues. So it should be pretty relaxed for you to do bossing or any kind of mapping content too, because the damage is more than enough currently, and I don't even think that we need to improve it significantly. Instead of that, I just decided to focus on tankiness. So in this video, I'm going to explain what exactly we are using to pretty much get it, what kind of items I changed, how we are still retaining our damage, and stuff like that. You can also check out my main Smite build that I posted before, because it's still pretty good, but the current version is definitely going to feel better while mapping. I'm also going to provide a Mageblood variation of Path of building and comment on that during that video, because I already prepared it for some people that been interested in that before. Let's go! So now let's talk about how I've been able to achieve such a high block. And first off, we're going to use only one and rare sword. Right here I have a Raging Slicer jeweled foil, which is a pretty good option. We have lightning damage, attack speed, critical strike chance, critical strike multiplier, together with attacks with this weapon penetrate elemental resistances, and hits can be evaded. That's a pretty basic weapon for just lightning based build. Just make sure that you have exactly lightning damage on your sword. If you're going to use such sword, you're going to retain most of your damage even if you're going to replay the Savior, because that's a pretty good weapon, and most of the time you also will be able to drop some additional accuracy here and there and get some bonuses up. And after that comes a very important item which is showcasing just an amazing results right now. It's Azadi Crest Lackward Buckler. It gives us your lucky or unlucky effects use the best or worst from 3 rolls instead of 2. And we're going to utilize that one very heavily. So first off, let's see where we are receiving our bonuses from lucky. First off, since we have a Perquel Toe on our Merc, nearby allies damage with hits is lucky, so all lightning damage that we are dealing is pretty much going to be lucky. That way, from the Azadi Crest, we're going to receive from 10 to 20% of damage based on your build setup. That way, it's going to give you additional damage because your lucky is going to roll better lightning damage in general. We're also going to utilize a very cool bonus from chance to suppress spell damage is lucky too, because that way we can get tremendous amount of spell suppression, up to 15%, just from that mastery, which is absolutely worth it. And the last part is coming for the block. So since we are using that unique shield, we will be able to just use Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flash for allocates more than skill if you have the matching modifiers on Forbidden Flame and Flash. That way you can get more than skill as a general bonus, and you will be able to utilize it together with a shield. So now let's look at Path of building. Generally, when we are receiving more than skill right here, we're receiving chance to block attack or spell damage is lucky if you blocked recently. Since we are blocking all the time, it's going to provide a huge bonus for us. Together with Azadi Crest, is going to give us a huge percent of additional block in general, because it's going to be rolled 3 times. So as you can see, my block chance in Path of building 96% for attack damage and 95 for a spell block chance. If you can get one additional tattoo, you're probably going to have even better this setup. So in general, you will just need to get Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flash with more than skill. It could be kinda expensive, but it's definitely worth the investment because it's going to make your character significantly tankier. And for the rest of the changes for the tree, I barely changed everything from like dual wielding to a shield. So overall we're just taking deflection now, we're still taking versatile combatant because I honestly believe it's definitely worth it. And we're taking shield mastery together with like block mastery and Tetsudo. Tetsudo here is playing a pretty big role because we're going to recover life every time when we are blocking, which is going to make our character very tanky and lead to the situations that you already seen at the start of the video, when all monsters are pretty much hitting you at the same time and you can just ignore them. We're also going to take a few additional bonuses, all of them, and it's pretty important. So first off, we're going to take 5% of leeches instant. It's going to help us against the mobs which just barely have any kind of recovery and still has leech. That way I definitely recommend it. And with that setup you are still going to reach tremendous amount of damage in general, because you're going to like double hit with a smite, you will not have a reflection, but the damage itself should be very high. Important part for the damage that you have like minus enemy resistance from the Merc. You're also going to have like your damage with hits is lucky, haste has no reservation because your Merc is providing it, and like bleed, poison, ignite and chill on the enemy. That's pretty much it. It's also pretty important to explain a few other bonuses, and a very big percent of the damage right here is the tincture. So tincture is pretty much providing 70% of additional damage, so if you want to deal a proper one, make sure that you have tincture up all the time. So for the Watcher's Eye, I'm pretty much using the same one, and I haven't changed a lot of things in the process too. So another cool thing that since we're currently don't have a source of double damage anymore, because instead of Paradoxica, we're just using like a rare sword. So you can replace your Little Pride as well. That time getting something like 12,653 or any other Little Pride just for double damage, it's definitely recommended, because that way you're going to have much more damage in general. So currently that should work very good. Make sure that you have enough STR, but it will be much easier to reach right now, especially since you don't really need accuracy on the helmet anymore, so you can replace the helmet and get like more STR on it. I'm currently still using my old one, but it's not too important right now. It's also pretty important to notice that to get your cool block bonus, you will need to have blocked recently. So have you blocked recently is necessary to be allocated in Path of Building, and in the game you also will need to block recently to have that bonus up, so your block chance is going to be like very big. And also, since we are currently reaching Frenetic, as I already mentioned, you can buff a new thing at your amulet, so generally going for something like Assassination could be a pretty good option. And if you struggle with mana, you can also go and get like Serenity too, because it's going to provide like 66 additional mana and still going to give you approximately like 5% of additional DPS. On top of it, there's also a pretty cool trick that you can utilize to make your capping the block even easier. So you can run a basic Tempest Shield version in your like gloves or anywhere else, where you can just get like as high Tempest Shield as you can. It will currently require like Enlightening level 4, but it's not too expensive right now, and most of the time you should be able to get it just fine. In that case, if you're going to utilize Tempest Shield, you can pretty much just drop the mastery and you will be able to keep like only one mastery from shield, and right here for block mastery, instead of just getting additional block chance, you can also get like gain life and mana when you block. It's going to help you tremendously with mostly regenerating mana in the bad maps, so it's definitely going to feel much better. So if you're going for it, you can also drop weapon artistry completely, because you don't really need block chance from it anymore, and it's just going to feel alright. Those 2 points should go for thrill of battle instead, so your main skill will cost less mana, and you're going to feel pretty good in general. Another cool trick right here, that since we have tremendous amount of additional dexterity, you can run Tattoo of the Salario Scout, which is giving you increased effect of your mark, and every tattoo like that is going to give you approximately 1% of additional DPS, which is absolutely amazing because you can get a lot of those tattoos all across the board and get additional damage for yourself too. So that's pretty much how you should set up it perfectly. I recommend to run with Tempest Shield, but even without it, as I showcased at the start of the video, it still could be a pretty decent option too. And another important moment, just to showcase that we can run all the modes, I changed up part, so to Mark Mastery. We're going to receive frenzy charges when we hit at a marked enemy right now, and we have an open just like a mastery for sword right now. So getting 50% reduced enemy chance to block sword attacks is going to make your tier 17 with like risk scarabs significantly better. It's still going to be annoying when you're going to get the mobs with like block, but it's more than enough to make sure that you're clearing your enemies without a lot of issues. So that's pretty much the most important part for it. Otherwise, the build should be prepared almost against all possible options that you can just encounter in general. So if you're going to get the mobs with like no leech, you're still going to have additional like recover life on kill from Blood Drinker. You're also going to have a pretty decent like mana cost that's very small. So even with your small regeneration, which is only 14 per second, you're still going to be very close and just getting almost all your mana back. Especially since you're going to receive like 2 mana per enemy hit with attacks right here, and right here 2 mana per enemy hit with attacks again. So every time when you're hitting an enemy, you will have 4 mana generated, which is very good because mana per enemy hit with attacks is not considered leech. Is there going to be completely no recovery, you also have like an instant leech and additional bonuses too. So with such setup, you should be prepared against almost all possible modes that you can run in tier 17. There's only one mod that I currently consider not that good, I'm still running it, but it's not feeling amazing. That's the mod which giving you like last chance to block. That's going to make your survivability like worse, and it could be uncomfortable in some situations. Everything else you should be able to run. Even if you will die occasionally, you still will be able to complete most of those mobs, even with like 4 risk scarabs. And the last thing for that build is pretty much reflect maps. So generally, since you're running Tempest Shield is doing lightning damage, and since your Merc is lowering the resistances of the enemies significantly, it can lead to a situation when the Tempest Shield proc is pretty much killing you in the reflect-oriented map. So to fix that, you could have 2 possible options. One of them is moving Tempest Shield from your gloves, for example, to your weapon or to any other place where you can literally connect it with brutality. That way, it will deal no elemental damage and will not be reflected. And the other way is pretty much dropping Tempest Shield completely. And instead of Tempest Shield, you will be able to take like the Mastery here for +1 chance to block attack damage, and replace Block Mastery with +1 chance to block spell damage as well. If you replace those 2 Masteries and just drop Tempest Shield completely, you will not get killed in the reflection maps. You can also just ignore that annoying situation and just stay a little at the distance, so enemies will hit you less, especially with the melee attacks, and your Tempest Shield will not get procced. However, please be careful about that, because sometimes it's definitely going to lead to annoying situations. Because even little damage from the Tempest Shield will be enough to kill your character, at least in some moments. And when we are talking about like bonuses in actual game, if I'm running like no recovery maps, I'm also using a second life flask with instant recovery when on low life. It's helping significantly to get my life back in bad situations, so it could be alright and I could definitely recommend to use it. So just replace your Jade Flask in that case and you will be absolutely fine. For the rest of the maps, I'm usually just running Jade Flasks, because that's exactly what you need. Another important moment to notice, since in that build you're still using Arn's Anguish, you will need to use Enduring Cry when you're like close enough to the bosses to generate charges. If you're not up for it and you don't want to use like Arn's Anguish in general, you can just swap to Mageblood completely and just run the build with the Mageblood. In that case, check out the Path of building that I left in the description for a Mageblood version, because that one could be even tankier with higher max hits. But overall, the build like that should be prepared to face almost all possible content in the game, except maybe Deep Delve, and that's what you should aim for. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. ronarray out.